Hello and welcome back to this episode of your Kingsport blog video update. I am Jeff Fleming, Kingsport City Manager, and I'd like to give you a quick update on what's going on at City Hall. First of all, the Brickyard Park is heading for home plate, no pun intended. It's a $6.9 million state-of-the-art facility for baseball and softball. It has 4 fields and a wagon wheel design. It's centrally located with a 2-story building for scoring, concessions, and restrooms, and has 2 ball fields that are at 325 feet, 1 championship field, which is 350 feet, and 1 field of 300 feet with grading in place for an eventual 5th field. And there are 323 parking spaces. It should be opening this month, and we will look forward to play taking place just off Industry Drive. We have added the new wayfinding signs to direct you toward the park, and hopefully this is just the first of exciting things to come for the old General Shell site as we continue to redevelop that property. The West Sullivan Street mobilization began on Monday, June 1st. It is a phase 2 of a 3-phase project. This phase is a $1.67 million project that extends from Hammond Avenue to Church Circle. It'll be completed around Thanksgiving. It will involve removing the overhead utilities and improving the aesthetics for future development in that area. It is adjacent to the Park Hill Historic Neighborhood, and it is also adjacent to First Baptist Church, who is planning a private project adjacent to the street there. That's going to be another major addition to that area. So we look forward to that moving forward in the near future. 2 safety improvement projects from TDOT, the Tennessee Department of Transportation, involve Bloomingdale Pike. That will be signs, markings, and pavement reflectors that extend from Stone Drive at the CVS pharmacy all the way out to Bancroft Chapel Road. That was done in partnership with Sullivan County, brought forward by County Commissioners John Crawford and Bill Kilgore, and we appreciate that partnership, and it will leverage those TDOT dollars to make our city and county road safer at that location. We also had a TDOT safety improvement project in Colonial Heights. This one's a little bit more extensive. It involves the intersection of Fort Henry Drive, Moreland Drive, and Hemlock Road. If you're not familiar with those street names, that's where you turn from Fort Henry to go to Warriors Path State Park, or if you turn the other direction, you're going towards Sullivan South High School. If you're coming from Sullivan South and you arrive on Moreland Drive at the Fort Henry intersection, there's a slip lane to the right as you're going toward I-81 that is 1 lane. This will make that a dual right turn, and it will be signalized. So it will be controlled entry into the highway. And so that'll handle a lot more traffic volume and handle it much more safely. The entire intersection will be cleaned up. The span wire will be removed, and mast arm signals will be added, which will certainly improve the appearance of that and safety of that intersection. So another great project. We also gave a nod to the county commissioners in that area, Angie Stanley and Baxter Hood. And in both of these situations, Tim Elsey, who is our traffic engineer, has done a fantastic job of leveraging our relationship with TDOT, because they have limited funds that they can spend anywhere, but they need to understand what the opportunities are in our area, and it takes someone to kind of keep all that together, and Tim does a fantastic job of doing that. So Tim, thank you for all you do for us. Probably the biggest project that hasn't gotten much play is the raw water intake from the Holston River. It's a $13 million project. That intake was established in the 1920s. There is a tunnel that goes under John B. Dennis Highway and comes out at the water plant, which is located off Sherwood and Conrock Road in that general area. The current line cannot be taken out of operation because it's the sole water supply for the city of Kingsport. So it's time to upgrade and add a new connection. So a new tunnel is going to be burrowed under John B. Dennis Highway, and a new pipe installed that will make sure that we have safe drinking water for years and years to come. Again, this is one of those projects that, if you turned your faucet on one day and you didn't have water, it would be a crisis. But because we have so many committed employees that are making sure that that doesn't happen, we are all able to enjoy much more high quality of life. All we have to do is look to California and some other states to see what happens when you don't have adequate water supply. So again, thank you for all that they do for that service. We also produced recently an annexation plan of services report. We've spent $50 million over the past 10 years in annexed areas, primarily in Rock Springs and Colonial Heights. We installed a new fire station, a brand new school. We rebuilt Rock Springs Road. We've added sidewalks, and we've had numerous water and sewer projects and fire hydrants to serve those newly annexed areas. So we take our annexation commitments very seriously, and I'm very proud to say that on a monthly basis as we give these updates, we never have to say that we've missed one of those deadlines. We did a materials agreement with Danny Karst, who is the developer of Edinboro. This is for Phase 7 of the Edinboro, and it's a program where we reimburse the cost of the materials as the developer develops the subdivision. We also did another materials agreement with Christ Fellowship Church. If you're familiar with Christ Fellowship, which is visible from the interstate, it's very difficult to get there by road. So they are installing a new road off of Rock Springs Road that will go directly through a residential area and eventually lead to the church. Since the church is building that road and they are funding the utilities, the infrastructure costs for utilities, that is eligible for a materials agreement under this residential program. The land that the street serves will eventually be developed for residential purposes. Christ Fellowship is actually on a well and septic, so they will also become public customers of water and sewer. So this will also ensure the ability of the church to continue to grow and prosper in the near future. We amended several operating budgets and various projects to close out the year, and just in an effort to be transparent, we always explain to the board what we're doing in that regard. So we spent almost $18,000 to repair picnic shelters at Cloud Park. The roofs of the shelters had become rusted and need a good coat of paint and some structural work done, so we were making arrangements for that. $119,045 for the year-end transfer to downtown Kingsport. That comes from incremental increases of property taxes in downtown. We take that difference and we put it over into a separate account that gets funded back into downtown to continue to see that development continue to flourish downtown. We're trying to step up our efforts for code enforcement, so we supplemented our mowing with $16,000 additional dollars, and also $40,000 for additional demolition monies for dilapidated structures. So when they come out of court and the court order is to demolish the structure, we now have funding to be able to actually do that. We have several pending cases in the Highland area near White Floral and the DCE streets, the alphabet streets up there, and so we are prepping to begin to clean up some of those properties that have been court ordered to do so. We put $30,000 extra dollars into the SBK Animal Shelter to match Sullivan County. We also did $50,000 next year, an additional increase for SBK, as did Sullivan County, and this is our commitment to our partnership regarding the joint operation of the animal shelter for Kingsport and Sullivan County. $25,000 to the Veterans Memorial Project, which we will have completed by Veterans Day of this year. $20,000 for fire station exhaust systems. $25,000 for the city's pro rata share of statewide digital mapping for our geographic information systems, and $10,000 for Cartograph, which is a software system that will allow our transportation system to communicate with our other city departments in terms of work order maintenance and operations maintenance. We adopted the FY16 budget. It's $156.6 million. We had no tax increase. We had no increase to schools' maintenance of effort. However, schools did get a bump from other sources like state, federal, and sales taxes. So schools did get an increase. It just wasn't from local funds. There were no new positions, no reinstatement of previous cuts unless department heads have been able to eliminate, consolidate, and reallocate. And we had several examples of where department heads have been able to do that very effectively. One of which I'm really pleased about is the police department, where we're going to be able to get 2 additional police officers really on the street as opposed to just administrative, and that's always helpful, and you always want to do more, but sometimes you have to get really creative to make that happen, and I really applaud Chief Quillen and his executive team at the police department for doing so in this situation. We have a pre-planned increase to fund balance, which is our rainy day fund. We have a pre-planned increase to cash increase to paving, and we've made modifications to our employee health insurance to ensure long-term stability. And our board was very generous with employee merit pay increases this year, which will average 2% for those employees that do qualify. We adopted the water fund budget with a 2% increase for inside city residents, and we adopted the sewer fund budget with a 2% across the board increase, and that is to make sure and continue that we have a viable utility system as we move forward in the future. I find that the longer I stay here, the more of an historian I become, and I have to remind board members that we used to have water lines exploding out of Market Street. We used to have inflow and infiltration issues where the state had an order that we had to deal with our wastewater plant, and those happen because we don't adequately fund our utilities over a period of time. So my hope is that we never go back to those days, and so by staying current, we can stay on top of all the issues that we may have when it comes to providing safe drinking water and then also disposing of wastewater properly. We have a 3.234 constrained capital budget this year. The previous budget was about $20 million, so we're suggesting that we only do $3 million next year, and that will give us a little time to grow our operating revenues and reduce our debt service payments going forward, and just make sure that we take a breather and that we're able to continue to enjoy the growth here in Kingsport in a sustainable way that's also sustainable with our budget. That's your quick update from here at City Hall, and I look forward to seeing you soon.